Western nations have been the drivers of global trade and economics for decades, if not centuries, but Western dominance is even more apparent in the political and cultural spheres, to the increasing dismay of many citizens in non-Western countries. At the Youth Time Summer School that took place last month in Hamburg, carefully selected students from over 25 countries, most of them young social entrepreneurs, participated in seminars designed to teach skills to make marginal voices heard and thereby mitigate the effects of Western preponderance.
The Youth Time, this is international movement which was founded in 2010 in Prague by a small group of the young people from, I guess, 20 countries. So now we are working as an international platform, and we are giving the possibility for young people to study and to share and exchange different experience from different parts of their life.
Before being invited, applicants, primarily from non-Western countries, have to go through a drawn-out, rigorous selection process. Those 30 who can most convincingly demonstrate their communal responsibility and commitment to social causes eventually make it to the summer school, held each year in a different country.
Somewhere we are not a politician, not economical organization. We are more about social impact and social. We are more about social responsibility.
No politics at all? Some participants disagree.
We have to say and admit that conversation becomes political, and I think it's healthy, a conversation to become political, because politics are a continuation of social life. I mean, society is about politics, and politics are for the society. I think what is missing here, and this is the best thing, is that we are not getting into conflicts. I mean, we don't let our bad selves, let's say, I mean, we all have some negative aspects in our personality to prevent us from constructive dialogue and constructive thinking.
Interestingly, it came to light that young people from different countries, continents or cultural spheres still, by and large, face the same challenges.
If there are two core things, unemployment and also following blindly the media that is on the network, on the social networks.
Besides youth unemployment and the international media pushing an agenda, most participants, all aged between 22 and 27, feel that globalization promotes only capitalist philosophy and Western lifestyles, even as it opens up new opportunities to citizens of poorer nations.
I think that within capitalism and with this capitalist rhetoric that's going on in the world right now, we have gone a little bit out of focus and are not looking at a specific person per se. We are looking at people as dispensable, as something that can be easily changed in any sort of circumstances. And I think what Youth Time is doing is bringing back the focus to a specific individual to actually empower them, give them the necessary skills, be it expertise or whatever, knowledge, in order for them to go back to their local communities and make an actual visible and viable change that can be visible and help this community in the future.
Several participants pointed out that there are more essential things than economic efficiency, noting that some non-Western cultures value equality and respect more highly than materialism.
Capitalism is just a tool. There are more essential things than economic efficiency. First of all, equality. Respect. If you have not respect, equality, understanding, attention to explain things to other people, how is it possible to make a market with them? No way. If you try to establish economic relationships without first establish with them an economic, a political or social or societal understanding, at the end of the day, it ends up in a pure exploitation framework.
Exploitation was one of the pillars of the Industrial Revolution in Europe that, followed by the technological achievements and economic power in the US, put the Western culture on a pedestal. The books of Dickens and Hemingway, the music of Frank Sinatra and the Beatles, and the movies of Stone and Spielberg, along with Coca-Cola bottles and GM cars, spread Western values and ideas around the world. Made in Germany stands for quality, made in China for junk. For decades, economic perceptions spilled over into cultural stereotypes.
One of the challenges is to break stereotypes from what has been carried on and developed from previous generations, if you will, and to find their own identity, a more global identity.
As resounding theme at youth time was that young people around the world want to be an active participant, a driver of globalization. Students from Gambia and Kazakhstan want to be heard and respected. They have also realized that if smaller nations are disunited, they become vulnerable to the big players to allot power to themselves.
Speaking about intercultural differences and pointing your finger on the differences is a political decision. It is also a decision to point your finger on similarities.
Now, as non-Western nations, especially in Asia, are becoming the new global economic powerhouses, at least some participants of the Youth Time Summer School hope that Western cultural dominance could also reach its end. Well, hope dies last.